So for IP version 6 was designed because of the depletion that happened in version 4. Ordinary version 4, when version 4 was designed, version 4, the public IP addresses were actually designated to different countries of the world. And most of the countries have already exhausted um, their pool. The pool of IP addresses have been assigned to them. So in the advent of this, um, the nations or the world or the governing bodies decided to see what can be done in order to accommodate more people into the IP version 4. So they dealt with subnetting of IP addressing. Still, it didn't solve the issue of accommodating people, more people. Then we dealt with the NAT that we treated, that is network address translation and port-based address translation, but it still didn't really solve the issue of the IP depletion. So IP version 5 was designed, but that one was discarded. Then IP version 6 was finally designed. Now for IP6, IP6 is still a logical address, as we all know, but as it is 128 bits logical address with 8 groups of 4 hexadecimals. 8 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 groups of 4 hexadecimals with dot as delimiter. Nobody's going to ask you this in exam. I'm just trying to explain what IP version 6 is. So there are 8, these are hexadecimals, and there are 4 of them in each group. And we have 8 groups of hexadecimal with colons as delimiter. Now, what I'll be teaching in IP6 is IP6 with prefix length of 64. That is what I'll be teaching. And that is the standard. Though there is no subnet in IP6 per se, but kind of, there is somehow subnetting, but I will not go into deep into that for now. Then, in IP6, it is, as you can see, its prefix length is 64. Just as we had with IP4, when you have this prefix length, it's actually trying to tell you that the bit, the size of the bit that belongs to the network, just as when we had something like 192.168.2. Like say 1, for instance, if you have a /20, if you have it like /24, it's telling us that we have 24 bits that belongs to the network. That means here is 8, under 8, 16 plus under 8. So the whole of this place belongs to the network. We dealt with this one before. This is network identification. So also, that is the way it is with IP6 here. It's telling us that from here, since here is 4 bits, 4 bits, each one is 4 bits. So everything here is 16 bits. So how then do you now have 64 bits? 64 bits can run from here, the half of it, since everything from here to here is 128. Let me put it well. Instead I will do it. Yeah, from here to here is 128 bits. So 64 bits belongs to the network. That means half of it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So from here to here is the network side. That's the network ID. So this remaining 64 is the host ID. But in IP6, we call it interface ID, not host ID. But it can be likened to be the host ID as in IP6. So this is host identifier. Whereas this one is kind of network identifier, but we are going to pieces these ones together. So from here, these first three group are referred to as global routing prefix. Global routing prefix. Global routing prefix. Prefix. Sorry. Global routing prefix. So that's the first three groups. Then each of those, okay, after that, this is for global routing prefix. This particular one, the remaining one, is the subnet. I'll explain this one later. That's subnet. Okay. Now, inside the global routing prefix, we have different groups, have different representation. Like this first group is for your RIR. RIR is Regional Internet Registry. Regional Internet Registry. That is the ID for a regional internet registry. On planet Earth, we have 5 RIR. We have that of Africa, we have North America, and the rest of them, and all of that. They all have their respective ID. We have 5 of them on planet Earth. Now, this first group, as I said, represents IR. I know that of Africa is 2001. That means, it means that any IP address, IP version 6 address that is originating from Africa must start with 2001. All IP addresses, be it in Nigeria, South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, wherever, as far as the IP address is coming from Africa, it must start with 2001. Then here is for ISPs. It's for ISPs. The second group is for ISPs. ISP, for instance, we have in Nigeria now, we have Glo, we have MTN, we have so many of them. It means that every ISP have their own ID, and it falls on this group, ISP. So for Glo, if this is IP address for Glo, that means all Glo IP version 6 must start with 2001 ODB8. Then when Glo wants to give IP address to their customers, maybe to a company or organization, this is what they give the company or organization or whatever. So inside global routing prefix, we have RIR, ISP, and organization. And if I ask you all this, you're supposed to know how to interpret them. 2001 is for Africa. Glo will have their own group. For instance, ISP have their own group like Glo. When Glo gets their own, they will not give organization or company theirs. Then coming to this place, subnet. Subnet can be likened to the network. Like for instance, if I have my router and I have 2 networks, this one is switch 2. Maybe I have another one for switch 1. Is switch 1. You now have your system C2, C3. Here I'll have C4, C5. These are different PCs, different groups. Now, what I need from ISP is just global routing prefix. That is what I need from ISP, because global routing prefix is just the first 3 groups. That's what I need as an IT person from ISP. From here down to here, I'm in charge as an IT person. I'm in charge from subnet till interface ID. Okay, now if I had received 2001 ODB8 0000, this is what I need from Glo. In fact, this is what I actually need from the slash. That's 4 times 16 times 3, or 4 times 12, 48. So this is what I need from Glo. Let me not confuse us now. Let me not do that now. Okay. So if I get this from Glo, I can decide to do my subnet here. Because okay, if I get it from Glo, I have their modem. And it's their modem takes me to internet. Is what takes me to internet. What I need from them is just this. If I need to have 100 network, 50 network, whatever network, is my business. It's not their business. So I've gotten my global routing prefix from them. Then since I'm in charge from subnet, I'm in charge till there. It means that I can call this particular network 0001. That's for this network. So I come to this particular network, I have 2001 ODB8, if that is it. Of course, this is what I received from Glo, my global routing prefix. I can decide that this my network will be 0002. Do you understand? See, I decided to make this space, this subnet 001, and this one 002. Then if I've done that, I need more space. Okay, I can do, okay, this network is that, then the other network is 2001 ODB8 0000. That is my global routing prefix. I can decide to do that network as 0002 because I'm in charge as an IT person from subnet. So my interface ID, anything I put there is for the host. That is the identification for the host. I can decide to do 0000 for my own sanity, 0000 000001/64. I can give that to the host and do another one. Maybe I can give this one 005 here. I can give this one the same thing all till 0004, like that. Then here, this is C2. I can give it all of this 000 till 0002. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that interface ID, whatever thing you put there, is for the host. You need to identify the host. But you need to be cautious of your global routing prefix and your subnet. So that is that for IP6 generally, kind of overview of it, so you don't understand how they are and how to use it. Now, that's that for IP6. Now, for
Hello.
you to use IP6 on your network, especially on your router, you have to activate it on your router. IP6 is not, what do you call it? It's not active in the router. You have to go to the router to activate it. And activation code is, the activation code is this, IP6 unicast routing. You must do this on a global mode. Look at it here. You must do this for your IP version 6 to be activated in your router. Okay. So here is just to compare IP6 with IP4. Of course, IP4 is 32 bits, whereas this one is 128 bits. And they said, I read the material that said that IP4, the size of IP4, okay, you can see it here, the possible address, whereas this one, see the possible address nodes. Now, IP4, they said that if you compare this size, someone was saying that the size of this is like the spoon of salt, whereas this one is like as large as Jupiter. You know that Jupiter is far bigger than Earth. You can imagine the size of spoon of salt and IP6. So there's a possibility that you cannot exhaust IP6. Possibility of exhausting it is it's not possible from what I'm looking at. It's not possible to exhaust it because you are even looking at it itself. We even continue using it when we get to heaven. That is very, very large. So that's that.
If there is computer in it.
Sorry?
If there is computer and network in
them. Okay, maybe we're going to have a new earth. That's what we are told. What is written? There's going to be a new heaven and new earth. And the new earth is going to be almost like this, when that we are not going to have sicknesses, disease, and all of that. It's going to be normal life, but it's going to be better life, like that of Eden, as the way God planned it before. So I believe then we are still going to be using computer possibly. So that one is by the way. That one is by the way. So okay.
The previous stage where you mentioned the command to activate the IP version 6.
Yeah. That's the command, IP6 unicast routing. You have to do it on the global mode. IP6 unicast routing.
Okay.
Okay, so that is one. Then, if you look at this IP addressing, where is it? If you look at it, it's very, very long. It's very long and all of that. So there is the way we can make it short. That's abbreviation, IP abbreviation. You can actually abbreviate it, and we have rules on how to abbreviate it. And that rule is what you have here. We have rules. The first rule says, this is the first rule. It says that the leading zeros are optional. Leading zeros in a field are optional. Now, if, where can I get one? Okay, now, you look at this one now. Leading zeros are optional. It's still like 2031. Leading zeros are optional, like the first three zeros, leading zeros are optional. So we choose the last one. That's what we have here. This one, there's no leading zero. This one, the same thing. Oh, this one is too much. Let me get something better. They have gone too far. I'll still come back to that level. Okay, I think you can use this. Okay. The first rule says the leading zeros in the field are optional. Look at this. This is to this. The leading zeros are 3 here. So we use the last one, very last one. So here there's no leading zero here. Leading zeros here, you see that we got it here. This one, we got it here. Leading zero here, there is 0 here. So we ignore it and started with 9C0. And this and all of that. So if you have 0, 0, 1, 1, you're going to be converted as 1, 1. You ignore the leading zero. If you have 0, 0, 0, 1, it's going to be 1. This one is going to be 11. Like that too. But 1, 0, 0, 0 is still 1, 0. There's no leading zero here. So don't be confused with this particular one. You're only dealing with leading zeros. So that's how to abbreviate it. That's the first rule. The second rule says that successive fields of zeros can be represented as 2 columns. If you look at this place now, we have 2 successive fields. So you're saying that when you have it, you represent it with double column. It mustn't be just 2 fields. So as far as it's up to 2 fields of zeros, you can have as many as 3 and all of that. That was what I think I saw here. If you look at this place now, how many fields of zeros? Okay, before we go back to this, let's talk about this. You know, when you look at this number now, you can actually take it back to this. Because here, I just make it 4. Leading zeros are in front, 3 zeros. Here, okay, now look at this place. If I count, if I have stopped here, I'll add 3 zeros here, I'll add 3 zeros here, add 3 zeros here, add 1 0 here. Everything will still be equal. Now look at this particular one. If I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's supposed to be 8. That means here we have 2 successive zeros here. So here I'll just add up the leading zeros. And now this is successive field of 0. Here I'll add the front 0. I will still arrive at this. Okay. Now that's for successive fields of 0. That's when we have only 2. There's a possibility you can even have 3, 4, 5, and all of that. Like if you look at this place now, you see that we have how many successive fields of 0 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are all represented with just double column. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that when you have successive fields of zeros up to 2 and above, that's where you can use double column. Now, there's a possibility too that you can have something like this: 2001 1000 0000 0000. I have 0001 000 0000 0001/64. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, if I want to abbreviate this, I'm going to have 2001. So let's see if it's 0. This one is 0. This one is 0. This one is 1. Here is 0. Here is 0. Here is 0. Here is 1/64. So I've succeeded in abbreviating everything to this. But if you look at this place now, I have successive field of 0 here, and I also have successive fields of 0 there. And they are saying that it is only one is allowed in one address. You can't have 2 double column in one address. So I can't have 2001. I can't have this double colon here and also have double colon again if I have one. It's wrong. You don't have two double colons in one address. It's against the rule. So in this case now, what should I do? I can just make this particular one double because it has higher number of zeros. So I can abbreviate this thing as this. One. Then this associative field of zero I can take double colon before I now have the 1/64. So these are the rules. It has 3 rules. Leading zeros are optional. Unspecified is address. Okay, this one is another rule, but let me use this. The first rule says leading zeros in a field are optional. So associative fields of zeros can be represented as double colons. Then, and it can only be used once. It can only be used once in an address. An unspecified address is specified as this. Unknown address is represented as double colon. So from what I've explained to us so far, supposed to be able to know how to abbreviate IPs. Like this one now, if you look at it now, they're all susceptible field of zeros. So I use this. This one is unspecified address. That is why it is this. So with this, you can abbreviate any kind of IP6. This one was abbreviated to this. Of course, by now you're supposed to understand this one is 0 here, 0, 0. That is double colon. That's it here. Leading zeros, optional, it was removed, and all of that. So by now, you're supposed to have known how to, work with this, know how to abbreviate IP addresses and all of that. Except you have any question, you can ask, but you should know to know that there's no class in IP6. What again do we need to also know? There's no subnet. I would just say that there is no subnetting, but there is kind of subnetting. We'll talk about that when we'll proceed anyway. But you can actually have, instead of having /64 as prefix length, I can have 126. That is when I'm running something like router to router. /26 only have ID, only 2 bits remaining. It's only two bits remaining out of 128. So I can give one here and give the other one here. So that is only sometimes you see this. But that is by the way anyway. So except you have any questions, we'll now wait for the next session. So this is just IP overview.